Casual discussions with the boys.
He lied to me. Everything that I knew was a lie.
Now, you understand.
What? What do I understand now?
John Robb killed Marvel. He killed her. Because she found out that she was on the wrong side of an unjust war.
Ooh, thanks for the recording.
I just got warned already.
All right. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Casual Discussions with the boys. Episode 22, I believe, of our Casual Discussions. We are up to Captain Marvel, which is the last kind of lull movie before the other big one, which is Endgame. So we're pretty excited for Endgame. There are mixed feelings about this movie. I'm beginning to feel before we enter into the discussions of it, but I guess we'll just see how we go with it. All right, kick it off. Phase 1. Any volunteers for who wants to go first with their out of the cave and
this hammer.
what was it? Worthy aspects.
I feel like Fitz can go first.
But I'm going to talk forever.
Is there?
No, you're not. you're all going to be like, yeah, we want to go to bed now, eh?
Do you actually like it? Do you like this movie, Fitz?
Okay, I'm going to explain why I like it, okay? Actually, no, I'm going to try and condense my thoughts as much as possible on this one. So, look, okay, you guys, you know those 90s movies, that 80s, 90s, that aren't really that great, but you love them anyway? Like, you know, like the Demolition Mans or the whatever Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I don't, like, they're just fun. Like, they don't have a rating on them. They're just, I don't know. Does that
expecting much from
timeless, in a sense?
Yeah. Well, it's
Captain Marvel isn't timeless.
I'm not
use
saying
that word.
timeless. I'm saying
It
was a movie. It was a movie for me that I was able to enjoy because, like, it was fun, it was ridiculous, and it was kind of that 90s vibe of just, like, even the fact you have, like, Samuel Jackson pulling off something he would pull off back in, like, the 80s, 90s. It just allowed me to just sit back and just be like, you know what? There's so many flaws with this movie. There's so many reasons why this movie doesn't work, but I'm just having a good time. So this is one of the movies I can actually switch off to. So, yeah, so my out of the cave is, no, I don't think this is, like, quality, and I think this has its issues, which I'll go into, but I went to the movie to see it 3 times because I generally had fun seeing it every time. And also because, again, I don't know what it is with me. People, like, they see me as the Marvel guy and, like, David, can you come with me to see this? David, can you come with me to see that? And I'm like, well, first I got to see it with the Marvel boys, and then I got to see it with this other. I don't know. I got to.
How many times did you watch this one?
3 times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you said that last podcast, though.
That's
Yeah.
twice too many.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm only planning on seeing Black Widow once, maybe twice.
Yeah. Who knows? Black Widow could be better.
Don't lie, David. You're going to watch it like 6 times.
By myself.
You're a fruit. Hey, you're a fruit man. You got to see the apples and keep watching.
Actually, I'll come
Mate,
up.
I'm all for them peaches, but anyway.
Hot for teacher. Van
You
Halen.
get out in Georgia.
What? What are we talking about?
Oh, you don't know the Bieber song Peaches?
Oh, because I heard Robin say teachers, and I'm like, wait, what?
Oh,
I
thought you
said teachers, and he said teachers.
I thought you said teachers. That's awkward now.
Anyway.
I'm going to bounce off what David said, and I like period movies as well. This one's obviously set in the 90s, not not the other kind of period. I mean, time period movies. So yeah, this is set in the 90s, and like David was saying, 80s, 90s were the legendary era of movies where, like, even though the movies aren't necessarily that great, you could just love them because, again, they're timeless. This one is not timeless, but I did enjoy it being set in the 90s. Like, you got Blockbuster, you got Samuel L. Jackson with a beeper, you got that Dell computer and Windows 94, whatever it was. There were different songs from the 90s and different cars from the 90s. I liked all that. It probably could have used a bit more, but yeah, I did enjoy that bit. But Out of the Cave, I think, especially after COVID, cinema experiences of movies are much more enjoyable nowadays because you're reluctant to even get into the cinema with lockdown laws and that. I mean, it hasn't affected us here as much, but like every time we get together and we watch a movie, we just enjoy ourselves. I will say, I'm pretty sure I did kind of feel after coming out of this movie, I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. But I think it was a good time with the boys. Reflecting on the movie itself, I hated it. If you see
we got there.
on my rankings, it is last, and it's not because it was too hot in the cinema. This movie was just, I don't know. I think, okay, the main thing, and I'll get into it with my negatives. If I don't like the main character of a movie,
I'm there with you.
Brie Larson, then it's hard for me to enjoy the movie. But I'll get into that with my negatives. Since this is the positives aspect, I think the supporting cast was really like good in this one. They pretty much carried the movie for me. Like Nick Fury was really good, as David was saying. Samuel L. Jackson from back in the day, minus him saying mother F word all the time.
CGI hair.
Yeah, CGI hair. Talos and the Skrulls were interesting. Even the Kree were pretty interesting. And we got to see Agent Coulson, even though there wasn't much of him. It was like, I guess at the time it was nice to see him again.
Very badly CGI'd.
Yeah, or like way too much makeup on his face. I don't know what it was, but like it was just good to see because he's such a beloved character.
White people are hard to make look younger. Let's be honest.
Yeah, actually, yeah, sometimes.
Because African American people they seem to age better, as we've seen in the past. But Samuel Jackson's like 70, bro.
Yeah,
like, he looks younger. Like Will Smith's in his 50s. He looks like he's 30. Like it's just the way it is.
It's the same with
Black don't crack.
Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. He was like what 40 something, and he looked like he was in 30s. Yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, other positives. I liked the cosmic element of this movie. I will say, even though
positive.
I've like ripped on Brie Larson, I'd say she's like decent at the action scenes. Like her fight scenes were pretty good. I think she puts a lot of work into, I don't know, she probably has a stunt double, to be honest. But like those fights were decent, and flying through space and all that was decent. I feel like she made a pretty convincing pilot in some cases. I like the aspect of intergalactic warfare, like the Kree versus Skrull. In the cartoons, it's really cool. In this, it was interesting, but they didn't really dive deep into it very well. They didn't really develop it too much. You just got hints of it. I also like that we got references to Ronan, the accuser, and the accusers, and what's that guy's name? He's like his henchman.
Yeah, he's played by A Quiet Place.
Yeah, the black guy the black guy that's evil in every movie.
Ji-won Soo, is that his name?
Yeah, Jiwon Hon-soo. Is it Cronin?
It's like Cronin or Korath, something like that.
I'll look it up.
I know his title's the Pursuer, but yeah, it was interesting to see them.
Detergents.
What were you saying, Grant?
You sound like you're announcing dishwashing detergents, Clorath.
Ajax from Deadpool.
Yeah. Wasn't it Nagini or something?
wrong movie, mate.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I took you too. Sorry. What an idiot.
Dumbledore is in this movie.
I'm trying really hard to find positives. Yeah, I think that's about it in regards to Out of the Cave and positives. Out of the Cave, it was fun with the boys, but I really didn't like this movie mainly because of Brie Larson and just kind of a weak I mean, it had potential to be a good story, but it just didn't keep me engaged. Um, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. It had some positives, I'll give it that, but not enough for me to eventually give it a high rating, which I'll reveal at the end. All right, Malika, what did you?
Well, I think you actually stole most, like nearly every single point I had. The thing I like, and I've said this in others, when each one comes and it introduces. So Marvel started like smallish, like the MCU, and it was a very human element. We had Iron Man, we had Captain America, Black Widow, that sort of thing. And then they slowly introduced us to other realms, other universes, magical beings, quantum realm, etc. With this one, I really like that they've gone even further than Guardians of the Galaxy, and they've introduced races that a lot of people were waiting for, the Kree and the Skrulls. Like that was something that a lot of Marvel fans were hoping that would come to the MCU, and so that's one thing I quite like that I liked about this, is that it opens the door for that, and now we're seeing it with the sequels, where they will move into Secret Invasion, which is absolutely insane with the potential of what they could do with it. Like it seems so far that they're only just going to do it as a Captain Marvel with Nick Fury.
Yeah,
But the potential that bringing that storyline in just brings into the whole that they bring into the whole wider universe, and especially setting this in the past and introducing the Skrulls and then.
How long you plan to be in town?
Oh, I'll be out of your hair
For
as
me,
soon as
was
I
a
track
big
down the
move,
scrolls that are infiltrating
because
your
then it
planet.
also brings in, and depending on how the directors
Skrulls?
go with it,
Shapeshifters.
Who's a
They can
Skrull,
transform
who
into
isn't
any
a
life form
Skrull.
down to the DNA.
Yeah, I love
You're
that.
right, Bex. And what they could potentially do with
Yeah.
that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, we say it as a joke all the time, scroll, but like the potential.
But we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I quite liked, and just seeing the wider cosmos that they bring into it. When she finally realizes all her powers, that is pretty cool. And seeing the suit, like they did a cracking job on.
Yeah, it's accurate.
Yeah, it was very comic accurate, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And just the powers as well, like the CGI for her powers actually looks quite good. And watching WandaVision now, like setting up Rambo, is pretty cool. Soundtrack isn't anything too memorable.
There was a lot of 90s songs and other stuff.
Guardians of the Galaxy style.
Yeah. What?
The actors were good. So Jude Law, like you said, they're the supporting cast. They carried this movie a little bit.
They had to.
Yeah. If we didn't have a Coulson, if we didn't have Fury, if we didn't have Jude Law as Marvel, it would have been a very different movie.
He was Jon Rog.
Oh, whatever. Jon Rog, Marvel.
It was speculated to be Marvel. But
Yeah,
was
we
like,
thought. I thought he was too. But they made Marvel a woman.
Mark
right.
Mark misread the Wikipedia page.
Cinema Sins didn't bring that up.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, for me, they were the positives. And he did bring in a little bit of humor. The interactions, Coulson and Fury. That's honestly about it.
You did well, bro.
Cheers, man.
Actually, one of the things
I tried to make it longer.
You dug deep.
I actually the way they did her kind of power origin story was pretty good. I'm not sure what the like very comic book version is, but I like the way they did this one. I just know the cartoon version, she's involved in like some Kree fight and she kind of like gets caught in the crossfire. With this one, it was interesting that she like, I don't know, she was like a victim of some emissions from the core thingy. I thought it was interesting. And Hulk. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, in a way. But this one was, I think it was because of the cube, right? That's why she's so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It
then
was like a cube explosion or something.
The other thing I forgot about was Project Pegasus. I like they kind of like brought that in. They didn't go too much into it though, but that's like an interesting part of one of the Marvel storylines. I think it's in Agent Carter or something.
James Carter.
Lee. All right, granted.
Yeah. Wow.
We didn't give him enough time to read the Wikipedia page.
I didn't. Honestly, I want to give it the benefit of the doubt because there's been a lot of negative. Oh wow.
So, well, because you've only watched it once, how did you feel after the first time, and was there anything good about it?
Look, I didn't like her. To be, like, not so much her as a person. I didn't like her character. Like, I like her as an actor, but I didn't like her as the character. And for me, I don't know. For me, I was hoping for a bit more. I feel like some of her sort of some of her, how do you say, some of her body movements and her body language and stuff, and some of her lines just seem so forced and so unnatural to the way she's used to acting. I feel like she had to change a lot about her acting to play this part, and she sort of dropped the ball on some spots. But like side characters and stuff, as you said, great. Like especially the Skrulls. Like even the Skrulls are funny. Like even the scene there where they're using the dial-up internet. And he's just sitting there shaking his head. Like, I lost it.
What's happening?
Like, it's just so good.
Floating.
Like, I think what saved this movie in terms of, I'm not going to say it's a horrible film, but what saved it was the little moments. Just the little things here and there. There was no big moment in the film where I went, okay, that saves this whole movie. It was little moments that added up to one big save. But even at the end where she takes down does the full Iron Man thing and takes down all the ships, like, I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, because I was even comparing that to the Avengers film at one point to see which one was.
Yeah, well, they did.
Overall, I'm not going to say too much because I don't really have too much to say. But yeah, overall, good film, I guess. But I don't rate it highly. But I'm not going to trash it because you guys did enough of that.
And we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But yeah, a good film could have been better through. Better acting, and I guess just seemed a bit rushed for me. And keep in mind, it's coming off Infinity War. A lot of expectation in our heads, a lot of big things. We're still dealing with a lot of things as well, emotionally.
Coming into Infinity War and going into Endgame.
Yeah, and we
needed
a pick me up, and I felt like I dropped the ball in some spots. But yeah, anyway, we'll get to all that. I'm done.
Would we, going off Grant's point, would we agree? Because I like Brie Larson as an actress. I've enjoyed her in most films I've seen her in. I just feel she doesn't bring a Marvel energy to the character. Like there's a certain type of person that works in the Marvel universe, and for her, I'm like even what we see later in Endgame, it's like you stand out a lot. Like, and I know it'd be like, oh, but she's fresh, she's new blood. But I'm like, no, but she doesn't come off as Marvel material.
She doesn't. No, you're right.
I think this is a good segue into I'm Always Angry.
I'm always angry.
And literally mine is just Brie Larson. Among other ones. I mean, as Grant said, I don't actually hate Brie Larson. I really want her to be good. A really good Captain Marvel, because she's a good actress and it's a really good character. But there's something about her delivery that, yeah, like you guys have been saying, it just doesn't fit the Marvel universe. I don't know what it is.
Like with Tony Stark, I don't know. Like, yes, there's quipping and yes, there's like condescending, but the way like Tony Stark and even like if we say like the Wasp, or, I don't know, does Black Widow? Yeah, she does a bit of like quipping and condescending. Like, there's that condescending type humor.
No, I didn't. But
the way Brie Larson brings for Captain Marvel, there's no humor attached to it. It just feels like whenever she's kind of like, I don't know, it just feels like a personal attack.
It's a weird facade that she puts on. It's like this tough guy act kind of thing that she does. That's annoying at times as well.
What's hard is her character's supposed to be vulnerable and confused and oppressed, but I never really get that. Like even when she doesn't know what's going on, and she's with the Kree and all that. Sorry, Robin, I'm getting onto your one, but it's just I don't know, I'm just confused. Like, she's playing the character she wants to play. She's not playing what the character of Captain Marvel's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You can never play her weak in the movie. It's always, even when she's supposed to be weak, she's strong and, you know, putting everyone down around her, even though she's basically saying, oh, everyone's putting me down. Like, I don't know. That's the vibe I got.
I don't know. I don't want to, not to be silly, but she's gone for like a weird style of sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's got a mysterious, squinted-eyed, sexy sort of thing, but you're literally an alien that you don't even know you're an alien, and you're trying to be sexy. Like, okay, let's take it out. I've noticed Scarlett Johansson and even Olds, like they don't try. I'm going to use the sexy. Not trying to be silly. They don't have to try to be sexy or be attractive or appealing. They just are. Like they're not trying. They're just acting. They're playing the role, and that's it. I feel like she was trying to be real badass, real like independent woman style film. And I don't want to go against the whole women's. I'm not going to go into that because I can go all night. But I feel like that may have affected her acting in this. Is trying to be a little bit more dominant. So anyway,
I know Captain Marvel to definitely have like fans that enjoy her performance, but I do agree with you that I think she's just trying too hard. Maybe like it feels like a try hard performance.
Well, like, sorry, Grant, you go.
No, I was just saying maybe she's nervous coming in after 20-something films. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's like going on to that point, like I don't want to make this too much about Brie Larson, but like even like in interviews, you see like with like Scarlett Johansson, and like we see now, Scarlett Johansson has really like defined the character and moved her away from being a sex symbol and actually just like a strong, independent character. But when she's with the other stars and all that, and they're all talking, they're all bantering. There is a respect for each other and so on. But there was one interview I saw where it was Chris Hemsworth and Brie Larson, and he makes one joke. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely the strongest Avenger." Oh, you know, and then Brie Larson's like, you know, looked at him like, "Oh, you know," and they were supposed to have like a to and fro, but it really looked like she was like, you know, what did you just say to me? And it looked awkward to the point Don Cheadle had to be like, whoa. And I could have misread that, but I'm not the only one that looked at that and thought, this actually looks like she was like, how dare you say that? And I think that's the problem where it's like, there is a way to be able to portray an independent character and a strong female, but it's kind of like the way the character is portrayed. It's like, I'm portraying this character how I want to, and if you don't like it, well, you have a problem. And they're like, I'm like, but I'm here to enjoy this movie. I don't.
But you know what it is? Spoiler alerts, but it continues into Endgame where she's like, "Last time you didn't have me." Like she can, that cockiness and that not moving for Thor's axe and stuff. That
it almost reflects Brie Larson.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad she wasn't even in Endgame till the end. Like I was very happy about.
When you know that you are that strong, you can be.
But come on,
she's just travelled through the universe for 35 years. She would have fought people a hell of a lot stronger than those that are on Earth, and she's won every single time. So she's dropped on Earth, not really knowing who Thor is, but she's just seen these humans running around getting destroyed, and she's like, "Yeah, they're weak."
Yeah, but
you'd have arrogance.
She didn't have to go get a bloody Dyke Ellen DeGeneres haircut.
That's comic accurate.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, but you even see, like, because even the fact they had to get, like, Tony Stark, Thor, abruptly have to say, I like this one. Like, Tony's having a fight with Captain America. He turns around and was like, by the way, I like you. We need you. And she's staring at him, like, angrily at him. Like, and then later on, they have to stop the film. It was like they got the actors around and said, listen, no one likes Brie Larson. No one's really a fan of her. So we're going to have to get you guys to say you like her so everyone else can like her. And that's the vibes I get from it. I feel like I'm being forced, being said you have to like her, and like
it's like they're pushing her to be liked when you can't force that under someone's throat. It just has to happen naturally.
Yeah.
Going off the fact, like moving away from the fact that it's Brie Larson, the way it's Captain Marvel, even though we say it's not very MCU-like, I feel like it didn't stray too far from what we've seen in the animated shows.
Yeah, in the animated, she's very confident.
Captain Marvel is very similar to that in the
But that's-
from what I can remember. That is very similar.
But she's not as awkward, if anything, compared to Brie Larson's one. I think for me, Brie, like, she had a lot of good dialogue, but her delivery and her choice of emotion was just off in it. Like, it's just awkward the way she delivers it.
I
And
feel like Kristen Stewart would have done a better job.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
is it really there? Like, they're not the ones writing the lines.
yeah. It's
But it is about the delivery. It's their job as an actor to deliver a performance.
I feel like it's comparable to Thor before Chris Hemsworth, where
Yeah.
you know he was still figuring out how he wanted his Thor to be, and then as it came on, it became more natural to him.
But
Yeah, this is only like she's only done the one scene in Infinity War Endgame or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and then she's gone straight into this. So this is her first real MCU appearance.
It's even harder for her because she's coming off all these other big films.
Yeah,
Thor
she's
had
coming in 20
It is.
plus
It
years
is a big
in.
burden.
Yeah.
Thor had time to sort his shit out. Thor had a lot of time to sort his shit out.
Years between each movie.
She's delved straight into Endgame, basically. Like, geez. So I do cut her some slack, yes. But anyway, I don't want to make the whole thing about her, I guess. But yeah.
But then let's look at, like, I felt like Scarlet Witch when she first came in really, like, sold me. I felt like, you know, I feel like everyone else, yeah, maybe you're right, a bit right about Thor, but I felt like the pitch when they first came in, I was like, yeah, I can get on board with this character. Well, and because Brie Larson has such a great track record before coming into this, I was, taken back by that.
Yeah, but you say that, but Olsen didn't have her own movie.
That's what I was about to say. She
You
had
can
a
bounce, you bounce off all the other actors and actresses.
So maybe if they introduced Captain Marvel in earlier, with maybe just as more of a sort of a cameo or something, it would have helped her out. But anyway.
Last thing I'll just say on it is, like you said about arrogance, but, like, look, Tony Stark's arrogant, Star-Lord's arrogant, there's plenty of arrogant characters. I'm like, that, you know what, you're a dick, but you're entertaining. Your arrogance is entertaining.
It's not forced. It's like how they are. It's how they are in real life.
But, like, with just the way she portrayed arrogance, is like, you're arrogant and it's irritating me. And that's more what it was. So she didn't know how to make it entertaining. To, like, there's a way, like, yes, you're showing the bad side of a character and the good side of a character, but you can still allow me to be entertained where I can still understand your character but still enjoy the movie. But I feel like I'm just not enjoying your character in this. But yeah.
But it is the 20th something film. It's hard, very hard to come in so late.
Yeah.
And be compared to.
That's true. We do get to cut us some slack in that way, but like, I don't know what it is. There's something about it that it just makes you cringe for some reason. I don't know why, but like, she has a lot of range. She is a very capable actress, and I'm hopeful for future Captain Marvels. And I do know that there are people out there that actually enjoy her performance. So,
love you, Brie Larson. You're the best.
Yeah.
Just in case you watch this.
We more than Natalie Portman. Anyway.
Yes.
Actually, I would have liked to have heard Caleb's thoughts on this because I'm pretty sure he rates Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So
she's about a 7.5 out of 10.
If we make T-shirts, I would love to have like Balika's ranking of all women on a T-shirt.
But,
on the back.
I was actually having like just a random thought about that. And I was like, you know how hard it would be? Because there's so many. It would take me like a 3-hour segment to be able to do it.
Ugh.
Would you favor the Wakandan chicks?
No, I can't say
Dora
that.
Milaje.
I do like my women to have hair on their head. No offense to the people. No offense to the ones that don't.
Oh, wow.
Yikes. Calm
My
down.
God.
That's hairist.
Right, you know how quick it would be going out somewhere? She doesn't have to do her hair, nothing. So good.
No, she's got to polish her head.
All she's got to do is polish it up, get the buffer out, and go for it.
Being bold is very,
Hey, Mark, you can take it to the garage and pull it out of the toolbox, mate. Jump on the bench.
I'll get the Lambswool mitt, the Maguires, and get the little chamois out.
Yeah. Wow.
Sham wow.
Oh, this is so much better than the film.
Sham wow.
Sham wow.
Okay.
We've got Owen Wilson. We've actually got Owen Wilson today with us.
And he's blue, just happens to be a blue supporter.
That's what I was going to say. All right. Back to Captain Marvel. As for negatives outside Brie Larson, I had a few. One major one for me was just you know how in Marvel there's a lot of questions that remain unanswered and then eventually they get answered. For example, Budapest could potentially.
Oh, I know where you're going with it.
So there was one surrounding Nick Fury's scar, and that the way it was shown in this and how it was revealed was very disappointing. I feel like there was moments in this that took away from the impact of these big questions we had. And, Marvel does this all the time with their twists where they go for like a humorous kind of reveal. And it's very hit or miss when they do that. And the one about Fury's scar was, I don't know about you guys.
Bro, ever since Captain America 2, Fury's like badass status has slowly dropped.
Right.
His importance and his badass status has dropped in the film, and this just completely ruined everything. Like, he's gotten that battle saving the Earth. No, he don't know how to handle a pet.
Yeah, but Winter Soldier, and it's like the best scene ever where he walks in and he's like, "You got to have both eyes open." He pulls it off, it's messed up, and it's such an awesome scene. But now when you look at it, Alexander Pierce could have just said back to him, "Didn't you just get scratched by a cat?" Like,
no.
Find that movie.
Like, have you updated your tetanus shot?
Yeah. Like, it worked for this.
It was the 90s, man.
Keep in mind, the cat, though, is one of my favourite characters in this film.
Goose, the Flurkin, or whatever it was.
The cat is literally one of the best actors.
I mean, even him acquiring the cube, I think because this was a bad movie for me, the whole storyline be him regarding him getting the cube was kind of just like, so that's how he got it for Avengers 1. And it was like, it's kind of lame. The other negative I have is the fact that kind of relates to Brie Larson again, but
she's the main character.
Memory loss storylines can be like really good, and trying to regain those memories. For example, movies like Hancock with Will Smith, that was pretty good. Even Bucky's storyline in regards to trying to remember, when he was
Letty, Fast and Furious.
Actually, I didn't mind Fast and Furious.
Best storyline hands down.
More recently for me, I watched Punisher season 2, and
so good.
Billy Russo's storyline in trying to remember that was
so good.
That was deep. In this one, there's so much potential for those storylines. It literally sets up the character for interesting story, but I think it was just a bit inconsistent.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
ENDGAME coming up, they have time for all this stuff.
They could do it, but it just dragged. I don't know.
So you feel like it's a bit rushed?
Yeah, or just not as engaging. But it could be because
it was just a cliche generic.
Yeah, maybe that was
backstory story.
Like, for example, when they got to the farm where the Rambo family was, I got a bit bored until the Skrulls came in.
The Skrulls made that scene so much better.
Yeah, and I didn't really care much for the Rambo family until WandaVision. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, but
they were very forgettable.
What would have improved the farm scene is if you find out it's actually Hawkeye's house and his family's there. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, Velma's there as well.
Instant 10 out of 10. 10 Tobys out of Maguire's.
It's a 10. It's a 10 out of a solid 8.
I have mixed feelings about Jude Law's character, Yon Rock. Did you like him, David?
I like Jude Law, and I feel like he was limited in this.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like they had sidelined his character a lot. I'm like, you brought Jude Law into this movie. Why would you, they could have done so much more with his character. That's the way I look at it.
Because in Sherlock Holmes, he's amazing.
Yeah. You know what seems to be the trend I'm seeing here is great actors held back by their characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
It also, this may just be me, but because Jude Law is often typecasted as like a ladies' man or a player at times. I felt like there was sexual tension between him and Captain Marvel sometimes. I feel like that detracted.
Right, 100%.
Was that just me, or did anybody else think that too?
I picked that up 100%. I actually thought at the beginning of the film, I thought they were together. You know what I mean?
There's nothing more dangerous.
Like, or I thought they're gonna get together. You know what I mean? Like at some point or whatever,
Humor
they're gonna
is a
like
distraction.
get each other's cookies. You know, like, yeah.
Each other's cookies.
That's PG way of saying it. Yeah. Eat your cookies, kids.
Oh my god.
Okay, so in regards to the Skrulls, at the beginning of the movie, I love the Skrulls in this, but like at the beginning of the movie, it seemed like they were bad, but then the sudden change towards like kind of like they hinted that they were kind of funny and humorous, but like the sudden change of heart by the time they get to the house was a bit too quick for me. Like it wasn't developed very much. Yeah. But like, I don't have too much issue with it because I enjoy the Skrulls regardless. So that was a thing for me. I do hope though that there are bad Skrulls out there because he did say there's like thousands of us left, and I don't want them all to be good because it won't work for an invasion. Really.
Yeah, it removes.
You think they'll get their own?
It removes a good storyline that Marvel can use.
Yeah. I think that's all the negatives I had. Did you have any more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go, Brett. No, you go.
No, I got nothing left.
Oh,
Done.
Okay.
I haven't said positive yet, so.
So my negatives is the Rambo family. And this is okay.
And now you
I really
come up in
like
here
Monica
after
Rambo in
6 years.
WandaVision,
With
but
your
in this,
supercharged fire
like
hands
it's
and
that
you expect
trend
me to call
of the
you-
annoying little kid
I don't even know what it
who
is.
it's not her fault. Like child actors,
Is that really
I
who
understand,
you are
but
now?
it's like the minute Captain Marvel rocks up, it's like, Auntie Carol. It's like, oh, but she has memory loss. Oh, I don't care.
This
Auntie
is me
Carol,
and
look
you
at
on
this.
Halloween.
Look at that.
I'm
I
Amelia
like
Earhart,
Fresh Prince.
and you're Jared
like,
Shopper.
just
This is you when you were little.
get off
You
the
didn't get along with your
screen. And
parents.
then
Mom
like
said we became
her
real
her mother, who like she, again, she's like she just got told her friend has like well, what is it, like a memory loss, and she's like, I don't care, you have memory loss. I have been away
Yeah, her friend's alive.
Sorry?
yeah.
She's found out her friend's alive. Let alone memory.
And then she gets annoyed at her.
Yeah, she's angry at her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please, if someone gets injured around you, don't be like, you're hurting me more than you. Yeah, like, and like the one scene. Oh, wait, is there like another part where we talk about our worst scene, or is this it?
This
Robert?
is it. This is it.
Okay. This part was when Carol's like,
I don't even know who I am.
which is that's great acting. But then Maria, who's been horrible to her this entire time, is like, you're Carol Danvers, you're my best friend. You're this. And I feel like something from Bold and the Beautiful.
Wow.
What is this?
We are definitely back in the 90s.
Bro, we have put Bold and Beautiful into Marvel. I don't know how, but we have.
That's it. The five what it is.
Next Gossip Girl.
And my last negative is, okay, look, again, coming back to this, Wonder Woman and a lot of other films have done a great job of showing how, certain heroes have been disregarded based on their gender.
Yeah.
What we don't do is have a scene which looks like an ad for, fight against sexism, where you have, like Carol, young, old, or standing up at once. Like it was all montage. Like every time they try to reference it, it was like, they had some guy make a comment about the cockpit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what type of like that? It was just throwaways. Okay, let's just throw in these flashbacks and hope people get it. And like that whole scene where like she's standing up and she's standing firm. I was like, I feel like I'm watching an advertisement. I don't feel like I'm watching. I feel like the movie just stopped to try and tell me a message, and I feel like, show me, don't tell me.
Actually, on that, is there a montage in Marvel that we like at all? Because we've like ripped on all their montages ever since Captain America. Sorry, Tester Bob.
We do. Quick, just to make the movie go quicker.
Or maybe Louise's ones in. Do they count in Ant-Man?
That's just Louise doing his thing. That's the way.
Yeah, it's not really montage. Yeah. I don't know. Marvel just, I don't know. They struggle.
Film's amazing, by the way. I love it.
Which one? Ant-Man or?
Oh, don't get. I don't want to know. Don't take me there. I don't want to go there.
Okay. All right. Well, moving forward, I think we've ripped into this movie enough.
Oh, I actually got one more. Sorry.
Oh.
The Guardians of the Galaxy guy. The Guardians of the Galaxy guy. He, what's his name? Not Yondu. He's
Korath.
Gora. No, the blue dude.
Ronan, the accuser.
Yeah, they brought him back, and I thought, oh, they gave him a second shot, and he was worse in this movie. He didn't even. He looked like he was cosplaying in this one. Like,
yeah.
Maybe it was.
I'm
We'll be back
really
for the
hoping
weapon.
they do
The core.
the accusers and Ronan well. Yeah.
it was worse.
But you know what?
You get it?
David.
What?
This is my opinion. It's a good way to show her newfound power. Destroy our fleet of ships. Where we're going to get ships from? Oh, Ronan, sweet. You know what I mean?
Let's save some money on makeup. Just paint him blue.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get the camera guy here. He can jump in front of the camera.
Well, actually, Grant talked about it before. One of my negatives is how they tried to recreate Iron Man's flying up into the aliens
Yes.
sequence. I don't like they did that.
No, you know what it is? I think it would have been a great scene. But because they compared it and tried to copy it, they screwed it up.
Yeah.
Like with her power and her different things, they could have done that so much better.
It's just, to me, it doesn't really make sense. Like, why do they have to... Like, what does it symbolize? What does it mean? What?
It was, that's what I'm saying,
Leader of the Avengers.
her newfound power, showing us how strong she is now.
Oh, gosh. But I did like just in regards to tributes, I like the Stan Lee tributes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Can I just say, MVP blockbuster, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's
Bring it back.
a highlight for me. Bring it.
Just because it's a bit of a throwback, yeah. Like I did enjoy the '90s sort of throwbacks vibes. I didn't mind that. But anyway, we'll get to that whenever. I don't know.
Oh man, well we did, but yeah.
I don't know. We're trying to be positive.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. This movie needs it. MVP boys. Malika, who's yours?
Malika.
Iron Man.
Well, he's playing Candy Crush.
MVP. Oh man. Can there be none?
Wow. What about the security guy at the start?
There's just no one that stands out, to be honest.
I guess so. This could be the first time we have a non.
Well, you don't like Nick Fury in this?
No, but he just throw those acting like that casting into any other movie, and it wouldn't be anything amazing. It wouldn't stand out as being exceptional.
Okay.
None of the acting in that movie or none of the parts are exceptional.
Okay. Fair enough.
Nothing. Like none of it makes the movie. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's all sort of average or subpar, and it just levels the whole thing out. Like no one to me stands out.
Someone stands out to me, but that's okay. We'll get there.
Rip into Captain
David's
Marvel.
probably got his camera off because he's just shaking his head as I'm talking. Like, what an idiot! Like,
I'm not going to say.
See where you're coming from, and I'll say why later. But yeah, so
Let's say it now. Might as well.
Let's go for it.
are you able to bleep out expletives? No, I'm kidding. No, okay. So one reason why I love this movie is the Skrulls because, again, I'm a sucker for like Mortal Kombat. Again, love the Aussie humor in that. Love the Aussie humor in this. Like I live for those scenes, and I think that's same on par with the Korg humor. So I know Mark's feels the Korg humor is a bit overdone. So I understand why he might be a bit like the Skrulls don't really stand out for me. That's how I'm doing.
I found the Skrulls funny, but again, there's not much humor anywhere else in the movie.
Yeah,
So
true.
it's just a very normal amount. Like,
I feel like what you're saying is you can't carry a movie that has been dropped so far down. Is that what you're saying?
none of those performances are exceptional enough to carry the movie. Like, it's not like any of them are crazy that you go, oh, I'll add, like, my ratings going higher because that one person was in the movie.
Yeah, but in saying that, at the end of Far From Home, when Talos rocks up, I was like, yes, it's Talos. Like, maybe I just fanboy Talos way too much, but I don't know. Like, for me, I'm a big fan of Ben Mendelsohn, the actor, and I really like what he brought. Oh, am I lagging?
You're just lagging a bit, yeah.
You're lagging because you referenced
What'd you miss?
Now, you know, I don't really need these to
You
see. But
Ben Mendelsohn.
They do
then-
kind of complete the look.
That was it.
don't you think?
Oh, saying Ben, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm just saying Ben Mendelsohn's a great actor to me, and the performances brought for the Skrulls made me excited for me to see them in future movies. Well, I felt like if they weren't a standout for me, if the movie didn't have any standout performances, I wouldn't be keen to see these characters in other movies.
Right.
If that,
Yeah. Actually, that tells us who your MVP is as well.
yeah.
Tell us. Grant, who's yours, if any?
I really want to say Chewie.
Chewbacca?
No, Chewie's the name of the cat.
Oh, Goose.
No, Chewie. I googled it.
Isn't it Goose? Anyway.
Name of cat in I was just Chewie.
I do agree with you though. It's the Kree or the Skrulls, whichever one it is, when they're charging, they do sound like Chewbaccas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Jude Law's character. I know you have your obviously we all have our opinion on
I'm so proud of you.
how he did that role and whatever. I feel like
You've come a long
as far as
way
villains
since I
go,
found you that day
could have been
by the
worse.
lake.
Like
Can you keep
you
your
know,
emotions in check long enough
yeah,
to take
exactly.
me
So I
on?
think my MVP will be
Or
him
will
just
they get the
due to
better
the
of
fact
you
that
as always?
he sort of saved
always
nothing really
told
saved
you,
the film, but
You'll be
if
ready
anything was gonna
the day
save
you
the
can
film,
knock me
it has to
down
be
as yourself.
it would be a
This
better performance
is
from
that
him, I'd say.
moment. This is that moment,
But yeah, he would probably be the closest I could get to an MVP, to be honest. But just because I like it, though.
He does have charm. He's a very charmful actor, and
Oh well, look, we won't go there. But you know.
well, I was just saying, like, it fits him so well to be someone who's deceitful. Like, it works because he can convince you either way.
Yeah, he played it well. Like we have so much negatives about Brie Larson's performance, and it is because she's trying too hard, and she's just got these. She seems to always have these come to bed eyes on. You know what I mean? In the non-serious way possible, she's trying to be seductive. Is what I'm trying to say. All the time.
What
Not
time?
always. Not
When
technically
you
a bad thing.
find out something's happened that's very emotional or very big reveal, or you got your memory back, you don't stand there squinting like you're auditioning for Baywatch. You know what I mean?
I thought that's what everyone does, though, Grant.
Oh well,
It was the 90s.
you got to practice your smolder, you know. Anyway, look, yeah, MVP would be, if any, be him,
You're wrong.
and that's it.
Yeah.
What do we think of Supreme Intelligence?
Oh yes,
I don't know.
could have done more with it.
Yeah, it's still like you're wrong. It's
For a lot of character. Like, even when she was playing Marvel, like, I don't know, I liked how she was, again, she just, I don't know what the word is, but like, there's something spicy about her.
I like that. Yeah, there's like a side to her that's like sadistic. Like, you can tell there's a darkness in there, but it's covered by the fact that she smiles. And
Well, even when she's like dancing to Nirvana, like, I don't know, I think other people would have hated that, but I love that because it's just, I don't know, it's just funny. It's like, she's, like, it's this intense scene, and she's like, "Oh, I really like this music." I don't know. I enjoy maybe the campiness of that, or I don't know what it is.
right. I guess that's like one of the Master Assassin characters.
Sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
Well, just before we get into it, I'll quickly give my MVP. It's Fury. Samuel L.
Joseph
Jackson.
Fury.
For me, I tried
Agent
so
of
hard
S.H.I.E.L.D.
to find someone
Nicholas
to carry this
Joseph
movie
Fury.
because, as
You have
most of
3
you,
names?
I rate
Everybody
this movie
calls me
last, but
Fury.
it'll change
Not
after this.
Nicholas, not Joseph.
Samuel L.
Nick,
Jackson, as we
just
said,
Fury.
his
What do you
era
love about
of
it?
like he's
Fury?
still good
What do
now,
you call
but
her?
80s,
Fury.
90s, that
What
was
about
his
your kids?
prime, and
If
you
I
kind of
have
got
them,
a
they'll
taste
call
of that
me Fury.
again. He's just, I don't know, his interactions with everyone was really either funny or like you could tell there was a genuine connection between him and whoever he was with in each scene for me personally. So I think he had the best interactions. He carried everyone, including Brie Larson, in a sense. He made other actors look good from my point of view anyway. Save Talos, who already, like, I don't think he needed the help, but yeah. Easily Samuel Jackson's Fury, as they call him, apparently. Okay, yeah.
This
Master
is Loki.
Assassin David reckons
is
the supreme intelligence.
Monsters and magic and nothing we were ever trying
Because she's a
Oh,
gilf.
Loki, he get away.
She's a what?
Gilf.
Yeah, Malika's type.
I'm not afraid to say it. What? It's 2021.
What?
What?
I just broke. Did I just break the podcast?
Mine actually, it's just like last time. My Master Assassin is David's MVP, and it's Talos. I don't think there's much more I need to say. I love his attempt at an Aussie accent.
He's Australian. The actor's Australian.
I know, but in the movie it was weird.
Oh, come on.
You know what? He almost sounded British to me.
Yeah.
It was
I don't know.
exactly the same as, what's his name? Josh Law.
David, your pitch has gone really high. Could you calm down?
I must be putting
It's
on
starting
my
to sound like Scooby Doo.
accent, like Carlos.
Well, regardless, whatever it was, I loved it. So
I just thought his accent sounded a bit Irish there for a little bit.
Look, are you guys even Australian? Like,
clearly, two of us, at least 50% of us, aren't.
I like how Robin complimented him and still got upset, David.
Whatever.
Robin, you didn't compliment him properly, okay?
Anyway, he's my Master Assassin. I just like that for once because he's always typecasted as a villain usually, so it was nice to see him as a good guy. And I think he actually, for me, added that added element of sympathy for the Skrulls. Like, I wouldn't have been sorry for them otherwise if it weren't for his character. So he did well in that aspect. Do you guys have any other underrated characters? Malika, surely.
You can't underrate characters when the whole movie's underrated.
It would have, it would be like a Fury or a Coulson.
Right.
Jude Law's good, but not enough. It's a pretty underrated performance compared to what Jude Law can do.
Yep.
He's in Inception, isn't he?
Sherlock Holmes.
He's not Inception?
No.
Well, I might be getting confused.
See, underrated means they weren't praised enough for their performance. No one was praised for their performance. You can't have an underrated. True?
They're all just rated.
No one here was underrated. Everyone was pretty well knocked. But anyway, that's just me. That's my answer for this whole segment too.
Yeah, like if you were to set ratings for the characters, Samuel L. Jackson would be a 5. I mean, it only goes down from there.
Okay. Wow.
I wish someone who like Chance was here to just because I agree in a way. All right, last segment, the Endgame, boys. Your righteous quote, if you can Google one quickly or remember one, and your Tobey Maguire rating. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Me and David to go first? Because I think David's got his. So I'll go first because David's eating. My righteous quote is, "I want you to be the best version of yourself." Which Jon Rogg says, or Jude Law says to Captain Marvel. I don't know. It's like a theme in this movie where everyone is not necessarily themselves. Like she's lost her memory. The Skrulls are imitating people. Nick Fury's unsure of his role in the Shield, whatever. And I guess this movie is like them coming into the best version of themselves as they figure out the truth and or reveal what's true to them. But at the same time, I think it's a call out to Brie Larson to be the best version of herself in her portrayal of Captain Marvel. I really want her to be a good Captain Marvel, so I hope she eventually does become the best version of Captain Marvel we can get. Tobey Maguire rating, 5 Tobys out of 10 Maguires. It just passes for me, this one. I will move it up in the ratings a little bit. So yeah, David.
Yeah, simple. Talos, when he's talking to Nick Fury,
You turn to a cat.
and Nick Fury's asking
What's
him
a
what,
cat?
what
What
the
about
sort
a
of things he
filing
would turn himself into, and he
Why
asks him
would
to
I
turn into a
turn
filing
into a
cabinet.
filing
To which Talos says, "Why would I turn into a filing cabinet? I can't deliver it the same way." But there's a lot of I don't know. I was quoting that for a very long time because it's just funny, and it just calls out a lot of the silliness that goes on when it comes to what characters can shapeshift into. So yeah, that's my favorite quote.
Yeah, nice.
How many Tobys and Maguires?
I'm going to give it a 6 and wait. We're doing it out of 10. Was that how we did it?
No, it's
Toby's
Out-
out of Maguire's.
out of 8.
Too bad if I get. And people will be like, "What is wrong with me?"
Oh.
6 point.
It's 6.5 Toby's out of Maguire's.
All right.
10 Maguire's. What did I say? 10.
Grant,
Yeah.
you got a
It's out
quote
of 10
and rating?
Maguire's.
I like the quote. It's just a funny quote. I found it funny where he's like, "You're my tech guy, aren't you?" Like, where he's talking about where she
orbit.
finds out where it is, and he looks over at
Was
him
that
and he's
so
like so
difficult to
disappointed
figure
in
out?
him.
I
Like,
mean,
we're
you're
meant
my
to be the more
science
advanced
guy,
race.
right?
My science guy, yeah.
Jan Rog will
You can't
catch up
find
to you
nothing.
soon.
Science guy, yeah. That's a good quote. You're my science guy, all right? And he's just like, don't know where to look. And I'm going to give it shit.
What's
I'm gonna
Maguire's
give-
out- Toby's out of Maguire's.
I'm going to give it 4 solids out of 8.
oh,
Solids.
it,
No, I'm going to give it 4 Tobys out of 10.
it ties with Guardians 2 for you.
Yeah, it does.
That's super low.
Shagger.
Nice.
It ain't great, Shagger. Let's be
Shags.
honest.
Come on, Shags.
All right. Well,
Just
yeah.
one more. Shagger, one more, mate.
The fact that you won't watch it again, I feel like, is a big tell.
Yeah, well, I got my time is precious. I'd rather watch Ragnarok for the 60th time.
I watched it this week. I think I've seen it for like 50 times by this point.
I watched it twice this week.
Nice.
Once was accidentally.
I tripped in a fair. All right, Maliga, quote and rating.
All right. So my quote is actually one that I googled quickly. What I do sort of like, and it was going on what we were saying about
I've
Brie
been
and
fighting with
Captain
one
Marvel
arm tied
before,
behind my back.
and the arrogance and stuff.
But what happens when
And she says, "I've been fighting with one arm behind my back. What happens when I'm
I'm
finally
finally set free?
Mm.
And I think that's a very good round off of the arrogance and self confidence that we see.
Mm.
Because she's like, just wait till I've got all my powers and I'm ready to go. Like,
Yeah.
she'll just wipe them out. So I do quite like that, and it fits the character. Because then we later see her power properly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
My rating. What did I give Guardians 2 Zeets?
5.
I think I dislike that movie more than I dislike this movie.
Right. You gave Incredible Hulk 6 and Thor Dark World 6.5, just for more reference for you.
Yeah. I'll give this one 5.5 Toby's out of 10 Maguires. It can just sit smack bang in there because I do like that it like I said in the intro, like that it introduced a whole new like avenue of stories and
Yeah.
roads that the MCU can take.
Yeah.
So that introduction for me was great. And we finally got to see and not taking away from that we've already seen them in, or some people have seen them in Agents of Shield. Like we get some introduction to all of that there, and it delves into those battles a bit deeper. But I think that's actually classed as being non-canon MCU now.
Yeah.
Are you guys all up to date on Loki?
Well,
Yes.
speaking of which, shout out, good show.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
So
go, go, David.
I've got to watch Loki tonight, so say nothing.
Have you seen episode 2?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then
So,
you can say.
with the branches and all that, like that's multiverse. So they're implying Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is part of the multiverse.
Yeah, which would be cool.
Well, I prefer that than just non-canon.
Yeah,
I mean,
because I was reading something that said it would just be turning it's non-canon Marvel. But yeah, if it's multiverse, then all good shags.
All good shags.
oh, good.
That's another t-shirt, Andy.
But yeah, that's it for me. 5.5 out of 10.
Alrighty. Well, once again, we have reached the conclusion of our podcast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Catch us on our socials, Omegle, OnlyFans, Snapchat, Ask a Fan, MySpace, Bebo.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, you got to that.
TikTok,
Unless we've got more than one.
TikTok and Vine. Yeah.
Kickstarter,
MSN.
LinkedIn.
All right.
Service New South Wales.
David, we can't see you.
Oh, sorry, I'm coming back.
Thanks for watching.
All I know is he doesn't have them. So we keep it that way.
You know, it's a trap, right?
Yeah, I don't much care.
Good. Just as long as we're all in agreement. Let's kill him properly.